What's up, everyone? It's Brian, the Toyota guy, over here at Fred Anderson Toyota of Asheville. And again, as I've said before, I'm just a Toyota nerd. I mean, that's why I am Brian, the Toyota guy. And of course, me being new over here to the dealership, I'm pretty excited just to be around Supras all the time. And of course, this is actually, believe it or not, a pre-owned one. And I think it's one that somebody should be buying here. Then they're going to be picking it up today or tomorrow. But I wanted to kind of just take a minute. I was up front kind of just grabbing a bunch of the brochures for all the new cars, and they had a really interesting one for the Supras. So I figured I'd actually just flip through it and just kind of show you all some of the stuff they've gotten here. You know, not everybody can run down to a dealership and see these, and sometimes these things are kind of hard to find. Let's check it out together. It's pretty neat. All right, so here we are. You can see it's actually pretty thick. It's got a nice kind of a matte finish to it. The rest of these things are usually pretty thin, and they're usually just kind of white, but this one being the Supra, they've obviously made it different. So let's kind of flip it open here. We'll just kind of go through the pages. Nice kind of a scenic view of the Toyota on a back road. Now this is neat. This is kind of why I wanted to open this up and share it with y'all. So I like that they really make a point. They did this when they brought out the GT86 concept, which became the FRS BRZ, but they kind of did a really good job of showing kind of the lineage and the history. And I love that we've got all the different generations of the Supras here. Now, I've actually owned a Mark III Supra that somebody had previously swapped in a 1UZ V8, and that was a really cool car. That was fun. It was a Targa top. That one looks like it's a hard top. And then I currently have a Celica, which was based off of this chassis. It had a different front end, different engine. The Celica Supra at that time obviously had the straight six versus the 22R, 22RE, depending on the year. And then, of course, here we are with the new body. And, you know, of course, this car has been talked about a lot, but I actually do like the design of this car. It's a little bit different than what the concept was going to be, but I think it actually looks really good, especially in person. So that's kind of a neat one. And then to kind of take things a little bit further, I really like that they've got, you know, almost kind of like a Wikipedia style breakdown of the first generation and kind of some of the features there. And it even kind of shows, you know, even some of the specs there. So you can see the very first, you know, it was called the Celica Supra then too, but you can see here it had 116 horsepower, had a 10-second 0 to 60. You can see we've got the second gen here. Things get a little bit quicker. 161 horsepower, 8.4 seconds to 60. And then, of course, we bring out the 7M. So we've got a 6.4 seconds 0 to 60 with now over 200 horsepower. That's a pretty stout engine, you know, minus the headache they get for the head gasket issues and stuff like that. And of course, we've got the notorious 2J with its 320 and 315, or in Japan, the 276 gentleman's agreement, 0 to 60 in 4.6. So it's just kind of neat that they show that. You know, a lot of times people don't go into the history of the cars, but, you know, I think they knew what they're doing. There's a Toyota fan base, so this really kind of resonates well with them. So obviously here we are talking about Gazoo Racing and all their different, you know, Formula One stuff, their rally stuff, you know, kind of their involvement in it. Obviously here is the concept of it, which, you know, again, it came out pretty close. I think it's just a really good design, despite the fact that it's got some BMW all throughout it. Then, of course, you know, here's another great image of the Supra out on the mountain roads or out here in the canyons. This looks like it could be out like maybe, you know, Washington or California or something like that, and just kind of showing the community. And, you know, apparently, I don't know, I guess you got to look cool if you own one of these. Or I guess they're saying cool people drive these. It's kind of funny, I think. So here we've got some of the horsepower specs, 4.1 0 to 60. Of course, your horsepower and torque. What's crazy is, you know, people are actually showing that these dynoed more horsepower than what they're showing on paper. So I think it just has something to do with the fact that, you know, BMW's got their numbers on the car and they can't have them exactly the same, even though if it's the same engine. And I think now with the 2021s, they've actually retuned it some, and they actually do make more power on paper and in real life. So that's kind of interesting. You can see we've got more canyon driving. So they're really kind of showing the whole, you know, fact that this is supposed to be a driver's car. It's an enthusiast car. You can see some different colors here. I love the yellow, honestly. I love whites and yellows. Red's okay. Red looks good, but, you know, it's, you know, a sports car. But those are two of my favorites for sure. Now we're on the track here, so you can see they're talking about the 8-speed automatic in here with the paddle shifters. Now, they haven't announced yet when or if they're going to have a manual transmission option, but I definitely think with the The new Nissan 400Z, or whatever they're going to call that thing, there's going to be a push to have a manual, and it would not shock me if they introduce a manual 2 or 3 years afterwards, just to kind of keep the brand fresh and keep people buying them. So that'll be kind of interesting to see over time. Then here we are talking about the 3-liter engine, all the different driving modes, you know, more. This one looks like it's a track with the curbs, but it's got all the woods and stuff like that, so that's kind of interesting. And then you've got the Brembo brake upgrade, the variable suspension, pretty neat. Here we've got the 19-inch wheels, which do look really good. I mean, a 5-spoke wheel is just always good. You can see we've got nice drifting Supra. Gotta have that. I mean, come on. Now this looks good. It's kind of funny to talk about the double bubble roof. That's just kind of an old race car thing, just to give people a little bit more headroom. And it also increases a little bit of aerodynamics, kind of forces air down the center towards the spoiler. Something that's kind of neat. The rear diffuser, which actually really does look good. Badging with the original Supra logo, which I'm super glad that they kept that. Of course, you've got the LED headlights, which I think all these new LED headlights kind of look like insect headlights with how they are. Of course, you've got your track driver here. Interior stuff, of course, with the carbon fiber helmet, just to kind of drive it home. This is a performance car, enthusiast car. Now, this is unfortunately where, you know, you cover up the Toyota badge and maybe even the whole steering wheel, and you can just, this is very BMW inside here. I mean, the gauges and stuff like that up here are a little bit different, but basically the iDrive system, that shifter, obviously very BMW, but I think the seats in the interior look phenomenal. Pretty nice image here. Nice little sun flare going on. Oh yeah, but now we got the helmet on. Inside driving, here's those gauges that we were talking about. The paddle shifter is on the wheel, of course, the sports seats. You know, there's that pretty much that BMW iDrive system that's in here. Great photos though, really nice stuff. Wireless charging pad, the command system that they call it there for all your different controls. Of course, a really great image. This is obviously taken around the same time as the other photo earlier. We've got the yellow, red, and the white. They've kind of switched positions a little bit out on the back roads. Of course, they're talking about all the safety features this time around. Lane departure warning, active steering assist, all that stuff. That's not the reason why you're buying a Supra. It's just nice to have if things go sideways. This is a great shot right here, obviously. I would love to know where they took these photos at. Looks like they're definitely in maybe the, I don't know, maybe like Badlands or something, because it's pretty dry. I mean, it could be California. It's probably California, let's be real. There's your blind spot monitoring. Oh yeah. People hanging out, driving, looking at the sights. That's a great picture. All of these, man, I tell you, all these photos, if you can find these online, these would make great wallpapers. And then, of course, we've just got all the different packages, the different colors, different wheel options, you know, everything that you expect to see in a book. So yeah, that's it. Just a quick little kind of flip through the dealer manual, the dealer book, the brochure, whatever you want to call it, for the 2020 Supra. Obviously, we're in 2021 now. This is a 20 behind me here, but I thought that was kind of neat, kind of fun. I would definitely swing by and check one out. Maybe see if you can take one home. If you've got one local, and they'll let you do that. Probably a future collector's item. I always like to keep those things around. I've got some stuff for old Toyotas and Honda and Acura NSXs and stuff like that in the past. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.